about, I don't know, 27 minutes. Tatiana dismasting. B team. Coast Guard really likes to take video of airlifts. Did you know that? So if you need to get airlifted, you're gonna have a video taken of it.
What I loved about this race was my ability to really test what my limits were. It's like a 5-year-old trying to step over the line. Like, am I over the line? Can I step over the line? Am I too much? Is this too much? Nope, that's good. Is this too much?
I want people to get done with this race and toss something out of their life that's not working for them, because it's an experience extreme enough to hopefully throw some bright contrast on what's important.
I am Jeanne Goussev. I have been a part of Race to Alaska for a few years now. I started in 2018 as the captain of Team Sail Like a Girl. We won the race in 2018 and came back again in 2019, breaking our rig just south of Ketchikan, kind of limping in, but came into 4th place that year, and came back this year co-skippering with my husband for Team We Brig for Whales on our Lyman Morse amazing family sailboat. I'm also a board member of the Northwest Maritime Center, the parent nonprofit organization that runs the Race to Alaska. So get a little bit of the behind the scenes look as well. I first heard of the Race to Alaska just in the sailing circuit, but I had never contemplated doing the race until I did a different, very much yacht race with a friend of mine, Anna, and we were just in a group at that point of lots of guys at a yacht club who were all talking about their sailing victories, and there's a lot of conversation and ego in that discussion. And Anna and I drank a little bit too much whiskey that night, and she turned to me and said, "Would you ever do Race to Alaska with a women's crew?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And that was the start of something.
Coming in hot!
I would also love to just, speak for women in sailing briefly. Wearing the hat as the captain of Team Sail Like a Girl, I never really counted myself as a feminist. I became a strong advocate for women in sailing coming out of the race. We are still very much a minority in our sport, and we'd love to see that shift. We'd love to see that shift. Our shakedown race was Swift Shore up in Victoria, BC, and there were 120 boats or so on the starting line of Swift Shore this year, and I went through the roster and I counted, and I might have it wrong, but I counted 2 female skippers out of 120 skippers. And that's 1% are female skippers, and I don't know why that is still, and I'm still trying to put my finger on it. But I would love to see the shift. I would love to see women in leadership roles, women behind the mast, women that are driving boats, that are running tactics, and really see more of that. I think that we gain so much from being in the ocean, so much from being in this kind of competitive environment, and it's an incredible sport for women to be a part of. The advice that I would give to women that are looking to learn about sailing is to just start. Go and take a learn to sail class. That's how I started. I moved to a new city in my 20s, right after college. I took a learn to sail class and I fell in love with sailing, and I also fell in love with the community that was there. It was so much fun just to be out on the water and to learn something new that I did not master in the beginning. It takes a lot of hard work. There's a lot of learning. I still learn. I've been sailing now for 24 years, and I'm learning every day. And so get out there, take the class and start, and then get on boats. Just keep on going. You don't need to go out and buy a boat in the beginning. Go and sail with somebody that has a boat. Find that team that you gel with, find the people that will support your learning, and find a boat that is the type of dynamic that you're gonna have fun on, and go out and have fun and learn. Help us move the needle along and encourage the other women around you that are striving for that leadership in sailing. Help them to be successful too.
How are you feeling about the race starting tomorrow?
It's going to be exciting. You know, we reserved the option to go either way around the island, and I think it's going to be a mystery to even us, to a certain extent, which way we turn when we leave the harbor. And that is one of my favorite things about this race, is all the unknowns and all the uncertainty and the ability to just work in the moment, see what you see, download that last forecast, look at what your eyeballs see what your gut feels, and go with it and see what you get. If we go inside, this is a big boat for Seymour Narrows with no engine, and I've been up there before with an engine. And if we go outside, well, there's a forecast that drops about Saturday night that looks like things I've seen before and never want to see again. So, you know, one of those. Pick your poison.
Yeah, exactly.
We faced a lot of challenges this year, a lot of them related to weather. We lived life on an angle at 20 degrees for the week, and that can be really hard on your body. You're falling off of waves, and we were in, I call them square waves, right? They have you go up, you go across, and we were actually able to belly flop our 22,000 pound sailboat in the troughs. She would catch full air. I've never seen her do that before. One of our teammates said it best. Lindsay said, "The floor keeps hitting me." And I don't think that I've ever heard anybody describe sailing better than that. You know you're in rough weather when the floor is coming up to meet you and you're getting air, you know, as you're sleeping, and the floor is hitting you. We only flew our spinnaker really on day one and a little bit in the Bella Bella area when things lightened up, but outside there's a lot of wind, a lot of weather.
Morning.
A lot of fun, you know, so many sail changes. We would go from having full sails up, being on bikes coming into Bella Bella, and then we got hit with 30 knots. You know, we were within minutes, we were double reefed and we went to storm jib. So we had variable conditions, things would be on and off very much. So lots of crew work, lots of teamwork to just keep the boat moving forward, but also safe, and make sure that we had the right sail plan where we were going to be durable. We had to sustain ourselves in all of those conditions. We couldn't get to a point where our main was going to blow up. I was watching our main stretching out and thinking, my gosh, is she going to hold? You know, so just it's about the balance of pushing really hard and pushing really fast, but also making sure that you're taking care of the boat in a way where she's going to make 750 miles, not our typical race course of 40. You know, it's an endurance race. For me personally this year, coming out of a really hard couple of health years with an MS diagnosis and surgeries this past year on things were unrelated to MS. They found a tumor in my spine while they were looking for brain lesions for MS. You know, coming out of all of that and being able to be at a place where I can test out a new body in a it's funny, I'll say it's in a safe environment. This is about the least safe environment you can imagine, but in a place where I was in familiar space. I was in my living room in the dark where I knew where the light switch was. It's Grey Wolf. She's my baby. She's our boat for the last 10 years. I could, you know, move around that boat in the dark with my eyes closed, and I know where I am and where the switch for something is, where the halyard for something is, and just move with ease, and to be on the boat with my husband, who I admire so much as a sailor. He's such a better sailor than I am. You know, to know that I could lean on him if I needed to. He and I were on opposite watches, so I knew that if I needed an extra 20 minutes of sleep, that I'd be able to take it from him, and I never did it because of that sense of responsibility to each other, to your teammates out there, and kind of holding your own. This was a big deal for me personally, to be able to do this. I'm very grateful for where I am today. I'm really grateful to be in a body that's working right now. I was in a body that didn't work for 9 months. I walked with a cane for 9 months. I was looking at a future of potential disability, not knowing if I'd get better. That was my first big multiple sclerosis flare. I knew that I likely had relapsing remitting MS, which means that you go through good times and then you go through bad times. You get sick and then you get healthy. But I didn't know what healthy meant. I hadn't gotten to the healthy side yet. I didn't know if I'd recover fully. I didn't know if I'd always be walking with a cane. I didn't know if I'd be moving into a wheelchair. So to come out on the other side of that and be in a body that works and lets me do something like Race to Alaska and feel good about it and feel like I was able to do it in a way where I didn't feel like my health was in danger, or my body was in danger, or I was overdoing something. To be here and to be able to say that I feel amazing, and I don't feel like I've found my limit yet. My new limit is going to be different than what my old limit was, but I really want to keep pushing and doing these kinds of things so that I can bottle them up and have them in my memory bank when things are hard.
I would like to get up just a little bit.
Say again, Jeanne?
After the island, I would like to get up just a little bit.
Okay.
Many decisions were made that I think impacted how we performed in the race. There's always the decision to go inside and outside once you get north of Vancouver Island. There's also the decision of when to push through Vancouver Island and through Seymour Narrows. It's 1,000 little decisions, I think, at the end of the day. And we had such experience on board that we had really well-educated, well-thought-out discussions among us, and a real respect for each other's opinions, where I think that decisions were made well as a team that we all were on board with and we all adopted and moved with.
You're doing great. Your heading is good. Your lineup is really good. You're floating right through it. You're floating right through it.
So it might not be what we decided, but how we decided. I think that it really brought us all together, and that alignment and that commitment to whatever decision was being made in that moment, without question, without ego.
He's going to come behind again.
Ease the trim.
Without anything but great, let's do it, let's move forward, let's do it the best way we can, is really what I think resulted in us doing well.
Okay, everything else is obvious.
Cleared it? Cleared it. Yes.
Nice job, everybody.
Yeah.
When I first got sick, I was looking for marathoners. That's what I did. I went online and I would look for people that have multiple sclerosis that are running marathons. And those are the people that I looked for and I looked to. And I said, okay, there are people with multiple sclerosis that are running marathons. If they can do it, I will do everything I can to do things like that. My body's gonna do what it's gonna do. I can't control, a brain lesion forming tomorrow or a spinal lesion making my right side go numb again. Like, I can't control that, but I can control how I approach it. And I can control when I feel good, pushing as hard as I possibly can and never regretting that.
Sunset, baby.
Yeah. All right, where the hell are we right now, Ev?
Well, so we just left the Villa and we are approaching the the outside again. You know, this is in front of us is a kick with a bunch of rocks that once we stick out, we're going to be on front of Dixon. You know, and we are pretty close to Ketchikan at this point. It's a finish line.
So the last part of the race leading to the finish was hard. I wanted to keep going. You know, I'm jealous of the teams that are out there for these extra days. It's hard work, it's hard on your body to be in the elements for as long as this. Doing it in 5 days, we're all competitive. We will always push ourselves to the limit, but it's not to win. It's to see where our limit is. It's to push as hard as we can and do the best we could. I never entered this race thinking that we were going to win with Grey Wolf. She's a fast boat, but you know, being up against the catamarans and trimarans and being in a heavy wood, which I love, wood boat, it was, you know, it just seemed unlikely. We were there for the adventure as much as anybody else. We were there not to win. We were there to push ourselves. So the last day was sad. It was sad to know that it was coming to an end.
So how was it out there, guys?
Great, a little gnarly.
Yeah? How was Dixon? We're all wondering how that was.
Easy peasy, just straight upwind.
We haven't slept in a while.
You know?
Oh, God.
You should look inside the boat.
Oh, yeah.
I think that I'm lucky that I have relapsing remitting MS. There are a lot of people that have, you know, this illness and it robs you and it's not fair. But I'm just gonna do what I can do. I'm gonna move when I can move. When I feel healthy, I'm gonna be out there and have these kinds of experiences so that I don't ever feel like I left something on the table.